Plotting points. There are a couple of different methods for plotting points with the calculator. I'm going to show you in this video how to use the draw menu to do so. So if we look at example 1 here, we're asked to plot the point 4, 3, and then also to remove the point 4, 3. So what we're going to do is we're going to go into the draw menu. So we're going to press the second key and the program key, which above it in the same color as your second key says draw. And you'll see there are a couple of different menus here. There's a draw menu, a points menu, and a store menu. This draw menu is the only way to draw vertical lines using the calculator. Since vertical lines aren't functions, you can't plot them using the standard y equals menu. We're interested in the points menu for this video though. So we'll go over to the point menu here, and we're going to be interested in the first two options here, point on and point off. So we want to plot the point 4, 3. That means we want to turn it on. So we're going to press 1 for point on. And we're going to type in 4, 3. And then we'll close that parenthesis to close off the point. And we'll press enter. And the calculator is still using the last window that we had. And you'll notice that window doesn't include it doesn't go as high, I should say, as the 0.43. We have x equal to 4, but we only have y up to 2. So let's press zoom. And let's just do the standard window. So we'll do zoom 6. And let's go back and plot that again. So if we quit back to the main menu, if you want to do something a second time, you do have the option of pressing the second key and the enter key, which above it in the same color as the second key says entry. And I believe the calculator stores your 10 previous entries. So you can get things, you can use the cursor keys and edit previous entries, and sometimes this is a nice way to save some keystrokes, especially for more complex calculations. The one thing you do have to be careful of is if you go back and reuse any expression with the previous answer in it, that is that ANS variable that comes up, chances are it's not going to be referring to the same value it was the first time you used the expression. So be very careful in that situation. So anyways, I use that second entry idea to bring this up again. I'll press enter. And there we get the point. You'll see it shows up as just 1 pixel. And if we count out the x, we've got 4. If we count up the y, we're at 3. So that's the 0.43. If we want to remove that point, we can press second. And we can go into the draw menu. We can go to points. And we'll choose point off. So we'll choose option 2. And while we're in the screen here, what we can do is cursor over to that point. This is a little tricky. Let's see, I've got to go over, so I went a little too far to the left, but that's okay. I'm going to go up. And that looks at the same level. I'm going to come back. Up. And right here, it looks like I'm right on top of that point, I believe. So if I press enter, that'll turn any point that's on there off. And I missed it. It's still there. So I'm going to come over here to the left again and try enter. And then move away. And I actually did remove the point in this case. And the reason I've done this, it's a little bit tricky to do this, but there's a difference in how you use most of the draw commands depending on whether you're actually in the graphing window or if you're out of the normal calculating menu. A lot of them in many ways are easier to work with off of the regular calculating menu. So if we do this again, I'm going to do second quit and quit back here. I'm going to turn the point on again here. So I'm going to choose second and enter, since it's the same command again, and press enter. There's the point on. Now if I do second quit first to come back to the calculating window and then press second and program to get into the draw menu, use the right cursor for the point submenu and choose option 2 now, point off. I'll give it to the coordinates 4, 3. Close the parenthesis. Now that I'm doing this on this calc menu, I can tell it exactly what point is that I want to turn off. I can press enter, it'll take me back to the graph window, and that point is indeed turned off. That point was a little difficult to see with just a point. So in example 2, we're going to plot the point -2, 5 using a box. And what we're going to do here is we're going to go back to our calc window. I'm going to clear out what we've done so far. Just press the clear button. I'm going to go back into the draw menu, second, and program for the draw menu. Cursor once to the right for the points submenu, and then choose option 1 for point on. The point is -2, so I'm going to type -2 and 5, so I'm going to put a comma and a 5. But before I put that last parenthesis, I'm going to put another comma, and I'm going to tell it 2. It turns out the calculator has 3 different ways of putting a point. It can put it exactly as a point, as we saw in the previous example. It can do a box, or it can do a plus sign, which we'll do in the next example. The point is option 1, the box is option 2, and the plus is option 3. If you don't put an option, it just assumes you want the regular point, which is what happened in example 1. So now I'm telling it to plot the point -2, 5 using a box. That's what the last 2 stands for. When I press enter, there's our point, and it's a box. Now if I want to turn this point off, this gets a little bit more difficult because turning a point off is typically kind of turning pixels off. So you end up having to try to turn off all the different pieces of the box if you do it on the graph screen itself. Let's quit back to the calculator screen. So second quit, go into the draw menu, second draw, go to the point submenu, choose 2, and we'll say that we want to turn off the point -2, 5, and we'll close that and press enter. And you notice that didn't change the picture at all. Since we didn't tell the kind of point we were turning off, it turned off just the regular single dot point kind. And so you have to be careful of that. When you draw a point with a specific type of point, a box or a plus, you need to turn it off in the same way. So let's quit back to the calculator screen. We'll choose point off again. So I'm going to do second draw, cursor to the points menu, choose option 2, and this time I'm going to tell the calculator to turn off the point -2, 5. I'm going to add that comma 2 to make sure that it turns off the box style point that we put up. So point off, -2, 5 is the point, 2 says that it's a box style point, and when I press enter, it's now gone. Example 3 has us repeat the same idea, just using a plus sign. This should be pretty straightforward now. We're going to quit out of the graphing screen. I'm going to clear, since we're working on a new example here. If I go into the draw menu, second, and draw, and cursor over to the points menu, I need to turn a point on. In this case, I want the point 6, -3. And I want a plus, so I need to put another comma and a 3. That's the style option, if you will. If we press enter, we'll get a plus way over here at 6 and -3. To turn that point off, we go back to the calculator menu, go back into the draw menu, go to the point submenu, choose option 2 for point off, and then we're going to tell it 6, -3, and we use the plus or the point style 3. We'll close the parenthesis, and then we'll press enter, and you'll see that the point is again gone. Now in example 4, we're asked to plot 3 different points. It's actually all 3 of the points that we've been looking at so far, and we're asked to do them all using a plus sign. And then once we're done, we're going to be asked to remove all the points. So let's plot them first. So I'm going to quit, back to the calculator screen, clear off what we've done so far. Go into the Draw menu first, so second in Program. Cursor over to the Point submenu. Choose option 1, Point On. Tell the calculator we want to turn on the point 4, 3. And then since we're asked to use a plus sign, we'll say comma 3 again. We'll close the parenthesis. Now, if I press the alpha key and the decimal key, I can bring up a colon. And then I can put all of these commands together on a single line. So that is the first command. Now let's enter the second command. We need to go into the Draw menu again. Cursor over to the Points submenu. Choose option 1, Point On. This point is the point -2, 5. Then we want a plus sign, so we're going to need to tell the calculator comma 3 to get that plus style up there. Close the parenthesis. We're done with that command, so we can press alpha and decimal or period to get another colon up. And one more time, we'll go into the Draw menu, go to the Point submenu, choose option 1, Point On. In this case, we want the point 6, -3. That's our point. Then we want the plus sign, so we need to tell it comma 3 to give it the appropriate style. Close the parenthesis, and I'll press enter. And there are our 3 points, all with pluses. We also want to remove the points, but we've got a lot of stuff to remove up here. We could go through and do 3 different commands and remove each point individually. But since we're doing all this from the Draw menu, we can also go second Draw. And the very first option here is Clear Draw. If we just simply press a 1, it clears out all of our drawing. And that command will work well from either the graph screen or from the calculator screen. I just did it from the graph screen. You can draw lots of other things, vertical lines, horizontal lines, you can draw circles, and you can remove everything once you're finished drawing by using that Clear Draw command.